Good morning to you. You live in a shoe. It's Pee-Pee and Peter's Bachelor Weekend. I changed the words. It's Pee-Pee and Peter's Bachelor Weekend. Don't worry about us, cause we don't worry about you. I feel like I should have a fan and flip it is what I need. Oh my God, what a day it has been. It has been a day. Alex left to go to Chicago. His car appointment got canceled. I guess you guys already know that. I think I talked about that last night. So, did I talk about that last night? Or did I talk about that today? I don't know. Anyway, so his car appointment got canceled, and he was... Well, I haven't talked about it today. Did I talk about it in another video that I make today? I have made so many videos for our vacation. I'm trying to pre-film videos that I am so tired of my own voice. Can I just tell you? So anyway, Alex is in Chicago, and he is in Chicago for Spring Awakening, and he is staying with his friend Zach, and they went, and they had a really good time, and he was just texting me, so I think they just got back to Zach's apartment. I don't know, I think they're going out or something. He was telling me that he was FaceTiming with Maya, his cousin, because she loves all that kind of music and stuff, so anyway, but yeah, so he's having a good time. I took the opportunity because I went in and I wrote for a little bit today in my office, but not for very long. And then after that, I literally non-stop filmed videos. Like, I don't even know how many videos I filmed, but I filmed 2 videos that I completely deleted because I thought they were so corny when I was done with them. One was a Peterisms video, and the other one was a Peter Likes Books video. So I literally spent like 45 minutes filming these videos and uploading, and then when I started watching them back, I was like, I don't like these videos. So I deleted them. I know some of you out there are like, we don't care, just post it, post what you want. Well, it's gone, I deleted it, it's gone forever. But anyway, yeah, so, and Tanya is in Tennessee, and I haven't talked to her today. I talked to her yesterday. What is today? Is it Friday? Yeah, it's Friday. So I talked to her yesterday because Tanya left yesterday. Did she leave yesterday or did she leave this morning? Did I say in my vlog last night? Now I'm like, did I say it in a vlog? Did I say it in a live stream? I'm like so confused at this point. When did I talk to Tanya? I talked to her last night, yesterday. Yeah. And so she left yesterday. She is in Tennessee Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Yeah, because she said she's traveling 2 days and she'll only be there 2 days. So Thursday and Sunday are her travel days. Friday and Saturday she'll be there. She said she's having a great, I don't know why I just forgot about this. I drove by her house about 10 times last night. Listening to my audiobook. Oh my God, She's Come Undone is so fantastic. So Tanya's gone, Alex is gone, it's just me and the dogs this weekend. And I'm completely fine with it. I took the opportunity to film these videos. I cleaned the house. I got a lot of stuff done today. I made the bed. Alex hates getting into a made bed. I love getting into a made bed, so I made it. And I said, I think we're gonna start keeping it this way. But I need to buy bedding and stuff. I haven't done that, and we've talked about doing so many things we haven't done. We need to make a list of things we want to accomplish this summer, you know? So anyway, yeah, that's been my day. It's been good. And I'm hungry. I haven't even eaten anything today, which is crazy. I haven't eaten anything. And I haven't even really been that hungry, honestly. But I'll get something here in a little bit. You know what's really weird? I haven't craved a salad in a long time. I'm really, really craving a salad right now. And people are texting me like crazy. Why is this car going so slow in front of me? I'm driving through Zionsville. This car is literally going like less than 10 miles an hour. Oh, they're not from here. They're from Michigan. Maybe they don't know where they're going. But yeah, are you guys listening to She's Come Undone? I am so in love with it. I think it's such a fantastic book. It's so good, isn't it? It's gonna pull into this, like, space right here. This is a hotel. I wonder if they're pulling into this hotel. This is like bed and breakfast hotel. Do you guys want to see? Like, this is the hotel that they're pulling into right now. Look. Isn't that so cute? Oh my God, I have 4 texts. Are you kidding me? I'm gonna have to pull into some place and park here in a second. I'm so popular. Nobody ever texts me. Well, my husband's never up this late unless he's out of town. So anyway, yes, I'm listening to She's Come Undone. I'm absolutely obsessed with it. I read a little bit of it today. I sat outside, like, when I was taking breaks doing videos and read a little bit of it. I don't have much left. I think I have like 3.5 or 4 hours to listen to it on audio. And so yeah, I was like looking today at like all the other books to see which ones are on Audible, and almost none of them are on Audible. Like the Jackie Collins ones they're all abridged. The Richard Lehman one, I always want to call him Robert Lehman. The Richard Lehman book is not on there, but like almost all the other ones are, which is good, which means we have to read them physically, you know, and I like to do that too, not just listen to audiobooks, which I know everybody thinks all you ever do is listen to audiobooks, but that's not the truth. So yeah, and I started picking out books today for my vacation. Our vacation is coming up very, very soon. I'm so excited for our vacation. I cannot wait for our vacation. Vacation, all I ever wanted. Vacation, gotta get away. Do you guys love the Go-Go's? Do you remember the Go-Go's back in the day? I have all those 45s down in my basement. It is hot and humid tonight. It is so hot. That little house, I don't know what it is, but it has the swings on the front porch with cushions and all kinds of things. I love to drive. Did you guys ever see the movie Mermaids, where Cher says to her daughter, she goes, "Charlotte, cars are freedom." I love that so much. And it's the truth. And you know what is so funny is that when I was growing up, like my mom, she had been so afraid. I've talked about this on here before, that like as she got older, she was really afraid to drive. She did not like taking interstates, or she would not take an interstate. She didn't like to drive at night because she said she had night blindness. My mom had really bad eyesight anyway, and which is interesting because my mother was nearsighted, my father was farsighted, I'm nearsighted, but honestly, for like 20 years, my eyes have been exactly the same prescription. Like, they haven't changed once in 20 years. I mean, I wear contacts every day. I wear the AccuView Oasis. I remember back in the day, my mom used to wear those, she used to wear hard lenses that you had to clean. Do you remember that? And then she wore gas permeable lenses, and they were so expensive, and she was like, you know, like, oh, I don't want my gas lenses to be like, you know, ruined and blah, 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 whatever. And so she would, like, clean them every night, and that little thing that you put, like, do you know what I'm talking about? Do you guys remember that back in the day? Contacts are so easy now. Now, I know there are people that wear disposables like mine, and they never take them out, but I take mine out every night. And I don't wear my glasses very often. I've gone through long periods of time, even like since I've been on YouTube, I've gone through long periods of time where I've worn glasses. If you, like a year ago, I hadn't gotten an eye exam. Do you guys remember that? I need to go get another one. I think my eye exam is almost, oh God, I hope I don't have to get another eye exam before I go on vacation, because I do not want to have to do that before it literally takes 20 minutes to at Costco, and it's so cheap, but I just don't want to have to deal with that before I go on vacation. Vacation, all I ever wanted. Do you ever think about all the things you have to do? Like, I have to get dog food. I have to get contacts. I hope to God I don't have to get an eye exam, but if I do, I have to do that. I have to make sure PP has his medicine. I have to make sure I have my medicine. We got to figure out if we're going to have my brother-in-law come house sit for us, or take the dogs to the kennel, or PP will definitely be going to the kennel. And Boo and Tucker will at least stay there the last day because they have to get baths and grooms, and it's just easier for us to pick them up that way. And then, let's see, what else? To get money out of the bank. All kinds of things you have to do, you know? Pack. Shop, because you have to buy some things for your trip, right? Although, I'm going to try not to buy a bunch of stuff this time. I have my books picked out. I already picked a couple books that I want to read while I'm on vacation, so I'm excited about that. And I'm taking 2 books. I think I'm going to take... I haven't finished The Husband's Secret, so I think I'm going to take The Husband's Secret, or I'm going to take Truly Madly Guilty by Leanne Moriarty, because I loved those books last year, but I am going to download something on the Kindle so that if I run out of books, I have my Kindle. But then I think I'm going to take Sharp Objects by Gillian Flynn. Is it Gillian Flynn or Gillian? I think it's Gillian Flynn, because she's the one that wrote... Oh, God, that movie that they made it into with Ben Affleck, and you know what I'm talking about? That one? You know what I'm talking about? I can't remember what it's called. But everybody's like, oh, every book is supposed to be like that now. She wrote that, and then she wrote one called Dark Places, which Tanya and I watched the movie, and the movie was fantastic with Charlize Theron. Everybody said the movie was bad, but I thought the movie was fantastic. And then she wrote Sharp Objects. She's written like 4 books, I think. And everybody told me that Sharp Objects is a fast read, and it's really, really good. So I want to read that, and I'm going to take that on the trip with me. And then also, I'll be on the tail end of Endless Night by Richard Lehman for the book club. So I got to read that. And let's see what else is going on in my life. Not much. It's been a good day. Been so calm today. I'm so addicted to these chapsticks. I literally put them on like every 5 minutes. What is like leaking over there? Something like... It doesn't feel wet. It feels like... I have cranberry, mango, and mint. And I have to tell you that mango is my favorite. And they really do keep your lips, these Kiehl's lip balms, they're $10.50. They really do keep your lips, like, they stay like, you know, I almost said moist, and you know that's one of my least favorite words. They really do keep your lips, like succulent. What's the word that I'm looking for? Balmed. They really do keep your lips. They really do keep your lips balmed. But I just like putting it on because I like the taste at first. It's kind of like why I love lip scrubs. Oh my God, I totally swear by those Sephora lip scrubs and lip balms, you guys. Like, they are so fantastic. They really are. And they're $6. $6 for a lip scrub and a lip balm. I'm gonna pull into the Speedway over here, and I'm gonna read my text messages. I was like, do I need gas? No. Gas is so expensive. Oh my God. Do you guys think this is gonna be like the hottest summer ever? Like, if you live in the Midwest, we have had so much heat and so much humidity. And even when it's been like low 70s, like if you've never been to the Midwest before in the summer, you truly do not understand what it's like. But you literally walk outside and you're drenched. It's just like there is like, the air is just full of like moisture, and I love it. I love everything about it. But it is kind of hard to breathe in sometimes, and it literally does feel intoxicating. But compared to the winter snows, I love it so much. Speedway. Kind of busy up in the Speedway tonight. These 2 guys are here, like, hanging out by the ice machine. Oh my Lord. Do you hear these guys laughing out here? Do you like sounds? Do you ever just like love sounds? Like, I love sounds so much. Like, isn't that the weirdest thing? I kind of want a bottle of water, but I really don't want to go inside. I have this coffee from like hours ago. This guy's looking at me like, why did you pull in here? Well, I pulled in here so I could check my text messages. See, I find stories in that, you know, like people like just like they were like construction workers and they were just like sitting there, you know, late at night, you know, on a Friday night, just laughing. And, you know, like I find stories in that, like that normality of like, well, what is their life like? You know, what's going on at their home while they're out working and they're just sitting there laughing, and, you know, do they have secrets? Like all that kind of stuff, you know, like I think that is I think those are like interesting stories in movies. Did you guys ever see the movie called Mystery Train? And it was 3 different stories that take place in, what's the city? Memphis, Tennessee. And it was all about a hotel. Did you guys see it? And there was like 2, that was like a Japanese couple that were like tourists there. And then there was like a girl who like left her boyfriend and she shares a room with another woman that's from like Spain or somewhere. There's like 3 different stories. They all take place like in the same hotel room or same hotel, and they're all going on simultaneously. And I remember this one part, the woman who's like from Memphis, who's like left her boyfriend, she's sharing the room with the woman that's like from Spain. The Japanese couple's like in the room next to them. See, like, okay, it would show one and then like it would show the next one, but the next one would take place exactly at the same time as the one before it did. So it's like always at the same time. And I think it was, there was also one called like Taxi Cab or Night on Earth, and it was really good. It was something like that, the Taxi Cab. I love those kind of like artsy movies like that. But anyway, Mystery Train was fantastic. Is that what it's called? Mystery Train? I think so. And I think it might be an Elvis song, because like Elvis is like a part of the whole movie. And Elvis's ghost is even in the movie. And at this one part, of the movie, the 2 women are in the like the hotel room and they're just sitting there talking, and she's like telling her about her boyfriend or why she left him and all this kind of stuff. And then all of a sudden you hear like sex noises from the other room, and the woman looks at her and she goes, "Oh my God, do you think they're fucking?" or something like that. It's so funny. But I just love that, you know, like late night conversations in a hotel room, or like 2 people on a train. Trip to Bountiful is one of my absolute all-time favorite movies with Geraldine Page. If you've never seen it, it's with Geraldine Page. She won an Academy Award for it, and it is about a woman who is from, I think she lives in Dallas, Texas. I think it's Dallas. And she just wants to go home. It takes place in the 40s. And she just wants to go back to Bountiful, Texas, her hometown, one time before she dies, and see her hometown and go see her old friend Callie and all this kind of stuff. And everybody's trying to stop her. Her son, her daughter-in-law, Jessie May, who she doesn't get a hold with. It's a fantastic movie. It was one of my mom and I's favorite movies together. And there was a scene, and now if you've ever seen Rebecca De Mornay, she was in Risky Business. She played the prostitute. She plays this woman that's like this very Christian woman that's married to a man that just went off in the military, and she sits next to her on the bus, because she takes a bus. And Rebecca De Mornay in that movie shows what a fantastic actress she is, because to see her go from Risky Business to this is like, it is phenomenal. And I love Rebecca De Mornay anyway. Well, I don't know what happened to her. I haven't seen her in any movies in forever. I think she was in a TV show for a while. But this movie is so good, and there was this whole scene when Rebecca De Mornay is telling Geraldine Page about her husband on the bus, and it's like late at night, and they're sitting there talking, and she shares a sandwich with her. She's like, "Do you want half my sandwich?" And it's just like one of the most genuine scenes, and it's like something that would really happen. And those are the books and those are the movies that I am really interested in, is a bite of reality. You know, I love when you just see something that is so endearing because it's so true. It's like, what was that movie? I think it was up for an Academy Award a couple years ago, and it was like about a small town. I can't remember what it was called. I think it was in sepia tone or black and white. Also, the movie Straight Story by David Lynch, which a lot of people don't know about or talk about, but it was about one man. It was based on a true story that he drove a tractor like to go like to 3 states. It was such a great movie. Sissy Spacek is in it. There's just so many movies like that. Judy Berlin is one of them too, and it all takes place around. It is in black and white, and but it's not old. It's newer. Well, newer, like 90s. And it takes place like around lunar eclipse, or whatever the eclipse is, where it's like makes it at night, it makes it daytime, like looking like. And Or is it during the day where it's pitch black? I can't remember. The movie is so good. It's so good. Seems like old times. Having you to talk with. Do you ever think about friends that you had like a long time ago that you're not friends with anymore, and you wonder like where they are, what happened to them now? It's interesting, isn't it? My battery is dead. I hope this doesn't have to be a short vlog tonight. I'm gonna be over it. I was in the mood to vlog. I was in a vlogging mood. My battery sign is like this. It's yellow with a yellow line through it, so we'll just see how long it goes. Sometimes it goes back up. There's my half-price books. Sometimes it goes back up and, you know, like to 20%, then it lets me film for a little bit. So we'll see. I'm at 20 minutes right now, so we'll see how far I can go. Do you ever wonder, like, what happened to old friends of yours, where they are, like, right now? Like, my friend Krista and I, we were just so diehard best friends. Like, we lived together for so many years. And I know she's in Berlin now, but, like, I haven't talked to her in forever. And I sometimes wonder, I'm like, I wonder what happened to her, you know? We used to talk, like, once a year. But then it went to, like, once every 2 years. And then it was just emails. And we just don't even talk anymore, you know? I wonder if we would even have anything in common. You know, like, one of the things that's weird to me, I tell Tanya this sometimes. I'm like, you know, like, you've never met Krista, and Krista's like, well, they've never met each other, right? But in my life, they probably were two of my greatest friends. And, you know, a lot of my friends from high school did meet Krista, because I met Krista, like, when I was 19. And she moved in with me, like, overnight. I told that story on here before. So all my friends from high school knew her because we all went out and partied together. Or if I had a party at my house, they would come over and there would be Krista. I mean, they knew Krista. Krista and I were inseparable. And so it's like, I wonder sometimes, like, you know, where she's at, what her life looks like today. If she has kids. I don't even know if she has kids, you know? And I have a lot of friends like that I don't know what's going on with their life, you know? Most of my friends from my youth are like that. And what's interesting is, I was the friend that tried to keep in touch for a long time. I really was, you know? I was the friend that tried to keep it together, you know, keep it fresh, keep us all, you know, friends. And it's like, over time, it's very much like that movie, The Big Chill, you know, when he's like, we never really knew each other, you know? And then you wonder, did we really never know each other? Or was it really just a period of time in our lives, you know? That we were close because of that, because of high school, or because of college, or, you know what I mean? Like, because we're all of us in early recovery together or something. And it's weird when you think about it that way, because you wonder sometimes, like, well, what happened to all those friends? Like, where are they at today? And what are they doing? And a lot of my friends are not on Facebook. Like, this is like, you know, like, everybody looks up their people on Facebook. Like, so many of my friends are not on Facebook. Like, a lot of my friends from high school, like, I think my best friend Leisha from high school, I think she's on there. But my friend Heather, that was diehard, one of my best friends from kindergarten, junior high, high school, elementary school, whatever, you know, undergraduate, graduate school, everything. She's not on Facebook. I think her husband is. But, like, the rest of my friends, like Michelle and Margaret, who are I talking about, they're not on Facebook. You know, like, a lot of my friends, my one friend Jenny is on Facebook, my other one is not. You know, it's so weird. Like, there's just so many people that aren't on Facebook. And just, I don't know, it's just a weird, that I don't know where they're at, you know? And isn't it weird to think about what our lives would look like? Now the stupid heat thing is on too. Isn't it weird to wonder what our lives would look like if there was no Facebook? You know what I mean? Like, or there was no Instagram or Twitter. And, you know, I complain a lot and I joke about Facebook and how much it's like a scrapbook these days and those kinds of things. But the reality is that a lot of us keep track of people that we know through Facebook. And even though I believe that Facebook is of the devil, because I do, I think people get way too opinionated on there. And I just don't need to know that deep of opinions of my friends sometimes. You know, sometimes I just want to see, you know, a picture of how they're doing or where they're traveling to. I don't need to see 15. I don't need to see 45. I don't need to see every angle of a family reunion. I need to see a picture of, you know, that you're doing well and whatever. But people like to share that stuff, so they can share what they ever want to share, you know? I just don't go over there very often. But then when I want to look up somebody and they're not there, I'm like, well, why aren't they there? You know, what happened? Where are they at? Why don't they feel like, you know, they can put their stuff up there? I hope this camera does not heat to the point of stopping and not letting me film anymore. I'm going to be very, very upset, you guys. I feel like this is what I feel like. I feel like I'm running a race right now, and I have like no energy left in me, and like the finish line is like 2 miles down the road, right? I have the battery light on right up there, and I have the yellow light on right there that's like the internal temperature, and I'm like, oh my God, can I make it? Can I make it? Because if I can make it to 30 minutes, then I can stop it and let a camera cool for a little bit, but I don't know if they'll charge the battery anymore or not. Anyway. I go through these periods where I reminisce a lot, and not necessarily always in a sad way, but like I go into my head and I think a lot about, like, you know, especially since like I'm coming up on my birthday. You know, my birthday's at the end of June. It's June 29th. I think a lot about like my, you know, getting older and ways I've spent my birthday in the past and where I've been. And really, to be honest with you, the last 20 years, every birthday I've spent with whoever I'm dating or now married to. Because I like to spend intimate birthdays. You know, have I talked about this? I don't know if I talked about this. Like Alex always throws himself a big party every year for his birthday. He loves his birthday. He loves having celebrations. He loves all that. I do not. I do not like being the center of attention. I hate it. It makes me very, very nervous, which you would find surprising, right? Being that I am on YouTube, but I am. Like, I don't like it. It's different to me to talk into a camera. I feel like I'm talking, you know, I don't know. Like, it doesn't feel scary to me. I don't know how to explain it. It just doesn't. But talking to, if I start thinking about like people watching my videos, then I start getting nervous. Like if I walk into a friend's house, well, I walked into like Tanya's kennel the other day, and this girl that works for her was like, I was telling Tanya, I watch all of your vlogs before I go to bed at night. I was like, oh, really? And she was like, yeah. She's like, your voice is so soothing. I was like, you think so? She was like, oh my God, I love listening to your vlogs. And I was like, but it makes me nervous when people say that to me. You know, I mean, I know that's funny, but like, it makes me nervous. And I think like so many people ask me like, are you going to do a meet and greet? And I'm like, why would anybody, I think to myself, why would anybody want to meet me? You know, like, I mean, really that's like, this is funny because on RuPaul this week, they talked about the saboteur inside of you. Like my saboteur inside of me tells me that, like, why would anybody want to meet me? You know, like I'm boring. I'm not that exciting. You know, I don't live this exciting, fantastic life. I'm just very normal and simple, and you know, all those things that you beat yourself up about are like my saboteur. That I thought it was an interesting concept they had on the show that I like really, you know, it keeps me from doing things. And those are the things that I have to overcome to be more confident in my life and allow myself to live the best life possible. Because I'm not going to live my best life possible if I'm allowing those things to bother me, you know? But anyway, so that's a lot of what I think about. What was I talking about before? I know I'm like, it's going to stop and I'm going to be in the middle of a thought. What was I talking about? Okay, so I went into the kennel and she said that to me. But before that I was saying like, oh, people like, oh, I just like, oh, my birthday. Alex loves to have a big birthday party for himself every year. I do not. I like to go to a double feature, and then I like to go eat somewhere like Steak and Shake and have a grilled cheese and a milkshake, and that's it. Like, that's what I like to do on my birthday. I don't like it to be anything huge, big deal. Last year, my birthday, we were on vacation. This year, we're going to be on vacation for Alex's birthday, and he was like, should I have a party before we leave or after? And I just kind of looked at him. I was like, we're going on vacation. That's kind of your birthday. I mean, you're 33. You're going to be 33 years old, you know? And he's like, well, I know, but I still kind of want to have a party, blah, 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 whatever. And I'm like, well, have a party. You can have a party. You have it before, have it after. I don't really care. Do what you need to do. I'll support you. I'll show up. You know, I like being that. I like being the husband. I am very good at showing up and being the husband. I'm not very good at being the person that the party's for. I don't like that. It makes me nervous as shit. Do any of you guys relate to that? I just don't love it. And I think that's a lot about my social anxiety, you know? It is so humid out tonight. So humid. Which is interesting because it's only 73 degrees, but it is really, really hot out. All right, listen, I'm almost at 30 minutes. So I'm going to stop this, let my camera cool down for a second, hopefully get some battery back in it, and finish this vlog, okay? I'll be back. Love you guys. Okay, let's see how far this goes. So the main light is off, so the internal temperature is okay right now. I'll let you know when it comes back on. But the battery is still yellow with a line through it. Ugh. It may just die. So if it does, good night. And this will be my good night. People have asked, like, why I always stop at 30 minutes. Well, my camera shuts itself off at like 29 minutes and 50 seconds. So I have to turn it off then and then start it again. But I usually let the camera cool for like 5 or 10 minutes, because if I don't, and I just start it right up right away, which a lot of times I try to do because I don't want to forget what I was talking about, because you guys know, as tangential as I am, I am all over the place in my head. So if 5 or 10 minutes go by, I completely forget what I was talking about, like I just did before I stopped this. So all I know is that I'm hungry for Denny's, because I just passed Denny's, and I'm really, really hungry for a Moons Over My Hammy, but I can't have a Moons Over My Hammy because I don't eat meat. So, and I'm really hungry for a grill. I'm starting to get really hungry. I need to eat something. I'm hungry for kind of, I don't know, something healthy is what I'm hungry for. Nothing unhealthy. What was I gonna say? So yeah. I was talking about my old friends. It's weird, you know, it's like, my friends and I in high school, we were so close. Like, I really don't know what I would do without the girls that I had in high school. You know, I had like 4 or 5 really, really diehard good friends, and then like maybe 2 or 3 on the outside that we were friends. Like, we were good friends, but like, I don't know, we didn't talk every day. But I had like 3 or 4 friends that I talked to every day, and always just one really good one, you know? Like, my friend Margaret and I, we used to, like, every day after school, junior and senior year, we would drive from Carmel, where I grew up, to Castleton, and we would go to Wendy's, because we didn't want to run into anybody that we knew. And we would get double cheeseburgers plain, and a large fry and a large frosty every day. And then I would go home, and then my mom would be like, okay, we're having dinner. I'd be like, I couldn't tell her that I just eaten at Wendy's, because she would be mad, you know, but sometimes I did. She'd be like, why did you eat that junk when I just made meatloaf? And I was like, I hate meatloaf. I always complain. I was kind of surly in high school to my mom, can you imagine? But, you know, I talk about so much about, like, drinking and using in high school and stuff. I've got to roll down the window, you guys. I'm sorry. If I turn on the air conditioner, it sounds like I'm in a wind tunnel. But, like, I talk so much about, like, drinking and stuff in high school. But the reality is, a lot of my experience in high school, I wasn't, like, drinking and partying hard and stuff like that. A lot of it, like, I was doing things that teenagers do, like going to Wendy's, or driving around listening to music, or, you know, talking about my friends' crushes, because I couldn't talk about my crushes, because if I talked about my crushes, you know, then they would know I was gay. Which is sad, kind of, when I look back on that I couldn't really, like, fully experience, you know, what high school is all about. I never talked about that stuff with my friends, you know. I think I was even scared to acknowledge it to myself, that I had all these crushes inside, you know? Like, I mean, I didn't have a lot, but I had a couple. You know, I had Rusty, who I wrote the book about, my book about. But that was short-lived, because that was like a semester, and I remember I never saw him. But I had, like, crushes on people that I knew that were in my classes, you know? I had a crush on this one guy, and, you know, what was really hard about it was he was one of the people that made fun of me the most. And what was really interesting was, and I'm still very much like this, like, you know, I see the good in people, but, like, when it was just, like, us, like, if we, like, had to do a class project together or something, like, I remember a couple times, like, he and I were in a lot of classes together, and I remember a couple times, like, if it was just he and I, he'd be, like, really nice, and he'd be like, so, what are you doing this weekend? I'd be like, oh, I don't know, hanging out with my friends. He'd be like, yeah, me too. Like, do you ever get sick of it? Do you ever just want to sit at home and watch movies? I'm like, yeah, and, you know, I mean, we just have, like, you know, BS conversations that were normal, like, between 2 people, you know? But put him in a group with his friends, and it was like I was a different person. Like, I was somebody he couldn't stand. And that was hard, you know? That I had this crush on somebody that really just thought I was a bag of shit, honestly, you know? Oh, well. I wonder what happened to him. it's interesting because you guys, like, when you watch my videos, you notice, like, me, like, go off in my head, and so you'll say, like, I noticed at such and such time you, like, went off in your head, and I do, you know, like, I think about that, and I think about, like, how much that really impacted me, that's something I don't think about very often, like, that specific situation, you know? I don't think very much about, like, that he was a friend to me, like, when we were one-on-one, and that was the side of him that I thought was attractive, you know? And the other thing that I think is a misconception about, like, people that are gay was that very few of my crushes in high school were ever, like, a physical crush. Like, I mean, they were, like, it was somebody that was cute, but typically it was something about that person that I liked, you know? Something about how they were, who they were, something like that I found attractive. You know, it was very rarely just like somebody that was super good looking or something. I don't remember, like, in fact, I don't really remember thinking that much about people in high school. And now Rusty I did, but he was real different. Like, all of, like, the skater guys and all of the real alternative guys, like, I really did have, like, kind of physical crushes on that, because that was what I was, you know, into. Like, and it wasn't even just that. It was kind of like I just was enamored of that, and there was a confidence that went along with it that I didn't have, because I was very shy, very quiet, and I had, you know, 4 girls with me at any given time. So I don't know, it's sad when I look back on it, you know, in retrospect, that, yeah, going back in time, like, do I think I would have gotten my ass beat? Yes. Do I think I would have got my ass beat all the time? No. I think if I had come out, I think my parents would have been extremely supportive of me. I think my mom would have really had a hard time with it in high school. I think my dad would have just been like, yes, we've known. But I think that my mom would have come around, like she came around, you know, I mean, she just was scared for me. She was terrified for me. But I think, like, it would have really nipped. I don't remember anybody when I was in high school, not one person being out. Not anybody saying they were bisexual, no lesbians, no gay guys, nothing. I don't remember anybody in my high school being out, period, end of story, not one. And I think that had I come out, not that I would have been some kind of trendsetter, but it would have killed what everybody was thinking about me anyway. You know, it would have just been like, okay, and then I would have been able to own my truth. I think, you know, there were things that I wanted to participate in high school, like drama, that I never allowed myself to do because I was so scared of, you know, being around other people that were called gay. Because if I was with somebody that was called gay, then we were gay together, and, you know, and they didn't want to be my friend either. They did not. Like, they steered clear of me. The other guys that were called gay in high school, they steered clear of me. And, you know, what was interesting was that later, a couple of them, after they came out, which they did, I mean, you know, like, I mean, I think we knew who we were, and they came out, and they later said to me, you know, thank you for being out in high school. I was like, I wasn't out in high school. I had a girlfriend my senior year, you know? Yes, she ended up becoming a lesbian, or she was a lesbian, you know, at the time, but, you know, I wasn't out in high school. And I think, like, I don't like when people say I have no regrets. Like, if I had to own a regret right now, one of my regrets would be that I didn't come out in high school, at least to my friends. I wish I would have at least come out to my friends in high school, or to my parents, because I think to my parents, it would have explained to them this inner turmoil that I was going through that I couldn't explain to anybody. You know, I mean, I was having all these problems with drinking and drugs, and I couldn't, and depression and anxiety is what it looked like to them, but I couldn't tell them what was really going on. I couldn't say, you know, I'm really scared of who I am inside. And, you know, with my friends would not have cared. They just wouldn't have cared. None of them cared, except for that one friend that came to my birthday party and said something about whatever kind of party it was. I think it was a Halloween party, maybe, I don't even remember. She said, if I see 2 guys kissing, I said, you will shut your mouth if you see 2 guys kissing. There will be 2 guys kissing. This is a gay party. And then she wanted to go to drag bars after that. I think I'm ready for a drag bar. We took her too. But, and looking back, like, she's one of my friends today. She has, like, you know, kids, and she lives in Carmel still, and, you know, like, her kids are in, like, high school now, I think, and she's one of my friends that's, like, the most changed, you know, like, she's the most liberal of, like, a lot of my friends, like, very just cool down with anything. And I think about that, and I think it's so strange in retrospect, you know, that she had, like, all these kind of issues or whatever, like, but she just wasn't exposed to it, you know, so why wouldn't she? But, I don't know, it's weird in retrospect looking at that stuff, and who knows? I wish I would have come out to my friends. But I was scared. And there's a part of me inside that still identifies with that fear, you know, of not being good enough, not being what people want, not being, you know, like measure up. Like if you knew this about me, you wouldn't like me. If you know these things about me, you know, you'll think that, you know, I'm less than. And all it was that I was gay, you know, that's it. That was all it was. But why was I so scared of that, you know? And I didn't grow up, and this was the other interesting thing, was I didn't grow up in a home that was closed-minded. I mean, I grew up in 2 homes by 2 different parents that were extremely liberal and open-minded to everything, you know? To all different kinds of ideas, books, music, art, film, everything. My parents just did not censor except for violence. And we had conversations about real stuff, you know? My mom had gay friends, you know? Like, my dad had a few gay friends. You know, he knew several lesbians that worked in the hospital with him, and it wasn't like they would bring their girlfriends over, you know? It wasn't like it was anything. I was never taught that it was something to be ashamed of. So why was I, you know? And I think it had so much to do with me having been bullied and people saying such horrible things about me that if I owned the truth of it, if I admitted what it really was, what time is it? If I admitted what it really was, then I had to admit that they were right and that ugly thing that they said about me was true and it was negative, see, not positive. And I didn't want to own that. I didn't want to own that negativity, you know what I mean? So I didn't. I don't even remember, like, this one weekend I remember a friend of mine, this is such a weird story, a friend of mine, her parents won the lottery. They won like a couple $100,000 in the lottery. And so they moved back to their hometown, and we would go down there and visit on weekends, and we would drink like nobody's business. I mean, to tell you, her parents did not care. And I remember like one weekend, we were down there drinking, and I said something about, one of my friends had a crush on me. And that was like one of the hard things, was that like one of my friends would always kind of have a crush on me. And I think in retrospect I was safe, you know, because I think they knew I was gay. But it got like really like they were really pushing the issue of like us making out or something and whatever. And I said, no, I don't do that. And this is so weird that I used this term back then, because now it means something completely different. But they said, you don't want to kiss her? Why not? And I was like, I'm asexual. And they're like, what do you mean you're asexual? I'm like, I just don't have sexual feelings. I don't think, you know, sexual feelings about people and stuff. And I really didn't. I was really very, very naive until after I graduated from high school. I mean, I just didn't really identify with that at all, you know? Like, I think I was so scared of anything thinking about that like I steered clear of that, which is interesting because I've heard other people's stories, you know, that are my age, that wasn't the case. Like, behind the scenes, like, they were talking and thinking about those things, but I wasn't. I was like, I didn't even want to go there in my head, you know what I mean? And so I just held to this idea that I was asexual, and they were like, what does that mean, that you know, procreate on your own, like you just, and I'm like, no, I'm not a sexual person, I'm non-sexual, you know? And there it was 20 years ago that, like, that's how I identify myself. Now today, we know there are a lot of people that identify as asexual, you know, and it has a completely different definition of that. And my definition was fear. Leave me alone. I don't want you trying to make me into a person that has to choose. I don't want you to make me into a person that has to, like, define myself or identify with something that I'm scared to identify with. So leave me alone. That's what it was back then, but today it's not that, you know? And I think if I understand asexualism, if I'm wrong, explain it in the comment section below to educate us. But I think if I understand it correctly, it means that you don't really feel lust or romanticism towards somebody unless you're in a loving relationship with them, or you're attracted to them. I think that's what it means, but I could be wrong. I'm probably way off. So somebody please explain it and educate me in the comment section below. Like I say, you know, I try to remain teachable, so. Oh my God, there's a deer standing right there. Hey. I love deer so much. Almost 30 years ago I graduated. Is that not so crazy? I mean, I just can't even believe it sometimes. 30 years ago. Caroline and I were talking about that, my cousin. I can't remember when I talked to her, but, and, was that yesterday? I think it was yesterday. But anyway, she was giving me an update. And, she graduated in 87 and I graduated in 90, and we were talking, oh my God, Taco Bell's line is so long, you guys. There's literally like 14, 15 cars in line there. And, man, I looked up to my cousin so much. I thought she was so cool when she was in high school and I was in junior high, you know. I wanted to be like in her friend group. I thought they were so awesome. And she said to me, she said, what happened to her, you know? What happened to that girl? And I said, you know what's funny about that? She said, do you feel old? She's like, I still feel so young inside. And I said, you know, Caroline, I do, but like at the same time, like, I feel 45. I feel 40, 45. I really do, you know? And I think that's because I don't have a denial of my age. Like, I'm okay with where I'm at in my life. I'm very happy. And I don't need to be 30 or 20 to be happy, you know? I'm happy at 45 living my best life now, and that's like the real trick, you know? And so when I tell these stories about high school, yes, do I have some regrets that I didn't come out in high school? Sure, I do, you know? I think it would have been a different life experience for me. I don't know that I would have ended up where I did. And so I'm, you know, privileged to have the journey that I did because I have a great life. And hell, I wouldn't have ended up here had I not gone through the things I did. But would it have been different if I had come out? Absolutely. I don't even know how that would have been, you know? It could have been 10 times worse. But I don't, like, in my head feel like I'm 20, you know? And I was like, she said something about, like, I feel like I'm 30. And I said, 30 was a good age, you know? My mom passed away when I was 36. I don't feel 36. I guess I feel somewhere between 36 and 45. It's hard for me when I look in the camera and I see my hair white, you know, like when my hair was brown back then. And I think that's a big part of it, you know, for me, is that I still don't like identify with the fact that like I'm older, I have white hair, you know. But other than that, like if I colored my hair brown tomorrow, like I've thought about doing this for a video. Do you guys think I should do it? Do you think I should color my hair brown just for one video, like just to show what it would look like? I'm thinking about doing it, like not permanent dye, but like, you know, temporary washout dye. I've got a bunch of it at home, and I'm thinking about doing it, and then letting everybody see what I look like. But with the beard, I would have to shave the beard too. I thought about doing that for a video, like shaving the beard, dyeing my hair brown, and letting everybody see what I looked like back then. And I'll tell you right now, it's really strange because the only thing that is different about me now, I mean, do I have like another couple wrinkles or two? Sure. But the only thing that's really different is my hair and my beard. Other than that, like I don't look a whole lot different. I'm heavier. I'm a lot heavier than I was. But I think sometimes when you're heavier, you look thinner than when you're super thin. Do you ever think that? So anyway, but other than that, you know, like, I don't really look a whole lot different. And so I wonder, like, if I shaved the beard and I colored my hair brown, would I look, you know, 30 again? No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't at all. And there was a part of me at that point that looked like I was really trying too hard. Like, it got to the point where I just felt like I just looked in the mirror and I was like, what are you trying here? Like, you know what I mean? Just age gracefully. Just allow yourself to fall into whatever age you are and enjoy it. And I think it's really a double standard in our society because I don't think that women can do that as easily as men. You know, I think men, the older they get, and this is a truism, it really is, as men age, people find them more attractive. I do think that. You know, I get more stares and stuff, even at my weight and whatever. I get more stares now, more compliments on my hair than I ever got. People say they like my beard. They're like, oh, I love the color of your hair, blah, 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 whatever. But, you know, like, I didn't get that back, you know, 15 years ago, 10 years ago when I had brown hair and no beard. I just didn't. So for men, I think it's easier, but for women, I think that you have to keep up with that. It's not because I believe that you should. I believe that women feel that they have to. And my mom definitely believed that, you know, like she was going to grow her hair out gray a couple times. And she's like, you know, the thing is that as soon as I do, people will see me, you know, as this, you know, intellectual academic type that just let her hair grow out gray and she doesn't care and she doesn't want to keep up with herself anymore. And there's a truth to that, you know, and my mom's like, I want to keep on feeling young. I want to feel pretty. And, you know, so she kept on coloring her hair and, you know, all that kind of stuff. And she never was somebody that did a lot of makeup or anything like that, but her nails were perfect, you know, things like that. She loved wearing clothes, but she always wore black because she thought it made her look younger and kind of mysterious. That was like the last 5 or 10 years of her life. She always did that. But, you know, and hot pink. She would wear hot pink sometimes. But other than that, like, you know, I see my friends and like they really have this need to try to like keep up, and it's like makes me sad, you know. It's like I can't imagine being in that position, but then, you know, when you're hanging out with girls that are 25, well, isn't it listen though, like, you know what, we take for granted at 25 and 20 what we have. You don't realize what you have until you're 45. You just really don't, you know. You don't realize how easy it is to lose 20 pounds. When I was 20 years old, I could lose 20 pounds like nobody's business, you know. When I was 20, 25 years old, you know, I mean, I could go on a diet and in a week I could look great, you know. I had a better metabolism. I could eat whatever I wanted to eat. My skin was great, you know. My hair just stood up straight out of the shower. All I had to do was put some product in it. Now it's flat and dyes and looks crazy all the time. You know what I mean? Like, it just always kind of goes into this side loopity thing. But anyway, you know, it's like you take for granted what you have. If you're 20 to 25, love your body, love yourself. If you're 45 to 65, love your body, love yourself. But it is true, when you're younger, you take for granted. You don't go, oh my God, I'm so happy that I have this youthful body, because you don't even realize what it's like not to have the youthful body. You know what I mean? And I will say that's one thing that's really helped me with my gratitude list, is when I write on there like things like good health and being able to like walk and all that kind of stuff, because it makes me really grateful for the things that I have, on the simple things that I take for granted, you know? All right, you guys, listen, I'm going to get off here. I'm absolutely boiling. I need to turn the air conditioning on or roll the windows down or something. I love you. It is PPMP. It is Bachelor Weekend. And I will see you tomorrow. Bye.